guys, Grace here with Pro Tips for Paras, and we are talking about accessibility and disability and uncensored stuff.
Yeah, well, uncensoring the words that go around everything that associates with different types of abilities, taking the dis out of disability. I'm able in my way the same way Grace is able in her own way, and Jesse or Scott are able in their own ways. We all have different fancy ways of getting around and doing things, and it's our version of it.
Yeah.
So
everybody's reality.
Yeah, and just people are so sensitive on terms with disabled. Well, I'm not disabled. Well, I am disabled, and I will call it how it is. I would hope that somebody wouldn't not ask the questions and stop themselves because they're afraid of offending someone else on the other side. And they just really honestly would like an answer without being judged for the way they're speaking. I always promote people to just ask. Just ask me. Well, I'm looking for the right words. No, just ask exactly what's on your mind.
Yeah. Just say it.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disability and disabled, it's just, I call everybody my cripple clan. I haven't had anyone in our world be offended by it. They all kind of laugh and they're like, yeah, it's now, we're coming.
I just always say my sexy bitches.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I got a girlfriend of mine with cerebral palsy, and she says it's my sexy swagger.
Yeah.
She goes, my mom called it that when I was young, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Just bring up your sexy swagger. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Well, I call my my priority parking pass. I'm like, this is my sexy person pass.
Oh, you call it a sexy person pass. I call it my cripple card.
Yeah. There you go.
I was like, the hall pass. Yeah. I pull the pink card now more than I ever did. Because I can't do the blue jobs.
Yeah.
It's like pulling the pink card on that one.
Yeah, or you play the D card.
Yeah, the disability card.
Yeah. I do that when I'm playing board games. I'm like, wait, but I'm disabled. You can't do that to me. Brother's like, shut up, Grace.
Yeah, you and your cognitive abilities, be quiet over there. Yeah. As he shuffles your cards for you.
Exactly.
You're like, don't look. What, at your cards that I'm shuffling?
Yeah. Well, we have the disabled rule in our game. The cards always have to be face up.
Oh, that's not a bad rule for anybody, because we were just playing family card games with my family where you know who's cheating. You can't play any of the guessing games with all the cards flipped the other way, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a whole new strategy.
It's really hard to strategize with that, because then you can see everybody else's moves and you're like, I'm gonna beat you.
Right? I see it coming.
Yeah.
So, Grace, what's your experience been with people and the term disability and accessibility and how they communicate with you and approach you and how they...
Well, I don't know what it is with me, but people always will approach me and ask me what my disease is, and that one gets me a little, normally I'm not bothered by it, but the word, that just raises the hair on the back of my neck. I'm like, yes, because I actually just coughed on someone and now they have my disability too.
The D word went to something
That's
else.
how that works.
Oh.
I didn't just wake up one morning and look down and be like, oh my God, what happened to my body?
Right. Didn't just catch a virus today.
Yeah. But normally, I don't even really have people ask. It's just usually staring, which I would rather have someone ask than just stare at me, because then that makes me feel like I'm an alien. There's
Tell the world that.
Yeah.
Seriously, tell the camera how you really feel about that.
Well, I think it comes down to parents really need to teach their children how to react to people with disabilities, because it starts at a young age. If you don't know how to interact with people who are different, then it's just going to carry with you for the rest of your life. And the responses that I hear from parents when kids ask me, "Oh, Mom, why does that or what's wrong with that person?" And the parent will always go, "Well, that's a wheelchair." And to me, that's such a missed opportunity to show your child that, you know, it's not a wheelchair, it's a person who uses a wheelchair as a mobility aid. But you have to recognize the person first. And then you might need to explain to your kid why that person needs something like that, why they're different, and that it's okay for them to be different. And I think if more parents took the time rather than just giving an absent-minded, "That's a wheelchair," we would probably have a lot more understanding of people who are different in this world. So that's what I always like to tell parents.
Yeah, I definitely like to encourage the kids to ask the questions to me. Like, I get, traveling, and the kid would be like cruising up beside me because he's cooking in front of his parents and just clipping along, and all of a sudden there'd be a kid beside me. He goes, "You in that wheelchair because your legs hurt?" Nobody, actually, I broke my back and I sustained a spinal cord injury, and now I need the wheelchair because my legs don't work. And their parents are coming up being like, "Shh, don't ask the questions. Don't ask her anything." And I was like, "Hey, now you go teach your parents how to ask proper questions to people with disabilities." Because, and that's the other thing that I find, because I didn't grow up with mine, that I do like to encourage questions more than somebody that's grown up with it their whole life. And I don't know if that's everyone or it gets old over time or what it is, because I grew up in the same world of, don't be as curious as you are. And the curiosity goes so far in those kids' lives. Like, just, you can tell when you go through the sales checkout, the young clerks that have friends in their life that are in wheelchairs, because they help right away. They're up, they're around, they're solving problems, and they help you out, and they'll ask me not what's wrong with you. They ask me, "What did you do?" Because they know I didn't start this way. It's like, it's a disease. It's like, no. It's like, "What's up? Like, why are you in the chair?" Not throwing shade. Just ask me why. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
And then you can carry on a conversation wherever that leads to. Like, yours, you grew up with it, and mine is an injury, and somebody else may be, a car accident or whatever. But it's just to ask it the proper questions and allow kids to ask the questions, because they're just curious.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way to, everybody stares.
Yeah.
Everybody stares. And I'm always more appreciative that when I catch them staring, they swallow their pride and just ask the question that's on their mind.
Yeah.
I like
It's
that.
always better.
I'm not afraid to talk to strangers, though, so that's...
Yeah. I guess that depends on how comfortable you are as well, though.
Yeah. And I also think that a lot of people are uncomfortable with explaining it to anyone. It doesn't matter if it's a kid or otherwise. And so they'll kind of put blame on the person asking the question, when really it should be something that in my opinion, the individual that has that discomfort should own and have proper responses sort of formulated to be like, if you're a war vet and something super traumatic happened to you, or it was an abuse thing and something really traumatic happened to you that put you in the state that you're in, and it rustles up the PTSD symptoms and reactions, then, "Hey, buddy, there's a lot of things that are going on right now, and I just really am not comfortable talking about it. Like, no, my legs don't work, but, I'd rather not say about what my injury is," and just be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind to people. It's not their fault they have questions, and it's not it's not anybody else's problem. If I had a problem with this, it shouldn't be projected onto everybody else around me. Just go and, you know, cope how I cope and come up with some nice, soft way of telling somebody that you don't want to have the conversation with them that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I always find it so much easier to explain things to kids, though.
Oh,
It's like
they're
that
great.
when you're trying to do it with an adult, you can see that they've already got their prejudgment figured out and they think they know what's going on. And sometimes you're like,
Can I talk to your kid again?
yeah.
That was way more fun. Yeah.
They can interpret. Yeah.
Can you translate this for your mom and dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love talking to the kids. They're always the ones that are like, I say, do you know how heavy a leg is? Like, come over here and try and pick one up. It's like, I gotta pick those things up all day long. They're like, oh, really? I think it's the coolest thing. Like, if I'm out of the wheelchair, the kids are in it.
Yeah.
100%, all the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, and they can figure out how to get it around better than any adult.
That's the same with my sit skis. People just love it.
Yeah. Fun for kids.
Yeah.
Mommy, can I have a go? Like, that thing looks way cooler than whatever I'm on right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bikes are the same. I was riding through Stanley Park on a hand cycle with a girlfriend, and there was two fit, a couple, one guy, one girl, and she rides by and says to her man or whoever she's riding with, like, where do we get those bikes? I want to ride that. She's like, I'm done with these two-wheel things. That looks like way more fun. And she had no idea we were disabled. She was just cruising by, and I eavesdropped on their conversation, and it was like, I want those. Like, that looks way more fun. 2 wheels suck, 3 wheels in.
Yeah, it's gonna be the new thing.
Yeah, for everybody. Oh gosh, could you imagine Vancouver bike paths if it all had turned into hand cycles? Complete chaos.
It's already chaos. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to Disabled Chicks rant about disability. Always fun. We'll see you next time.
Yes, so good.
Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.